signs of lupus in her system. Yes. So it's about reactivating your own immune system because lupus is also an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So if you are able to restart your own body, your own system, because medicine is good, it's amazing here in America for many things, but chronic issues like autoimmune problems, you're just taking painkillers and not really adding.
Welcome guys back to another episode of The Men's Lair. I have a good friend of mine, Javier. How you doing, Javier?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, good to have you here, man. Yeah.
Thanks for the invitation.
Are you locally from Santa Barbara?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm not. I wasn't born here in Santa Barbara, but I live locally here, so I'm a local.
Okay,
now.
Awesome. Yeah, we have an awesome special guest, guys, Javier. So for those of you who don't know who he is a Wim Hof instructor. Did I say that correct?
That's
Wim
correct,
Hof?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then for those who don't know, the Iceman, right?
Yes.
Iceman. So is he based in Europe?
Yes, he's from the Netherlands.
Okay, Netherlands. Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
Based in Europe.
So we're going to hear a little bit about Javier and his story on kind of how he came to be and how he came to be a Wim Hof instructor. Because it's super interesting. I didn't even know what Wim Hof was until I started to hang out with him and start doing client work for him. So it's something that I think everybody should know, in my opinion, because it's definitely very powerful. But Javier can talk a little bit more about it in detail and kind of how he came to be a Wim Hof instructor and stuff like that. So Javier, so you said you weren't born in Santa Barbara, right?
That's correct. I was born in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Okay. And then did you come from Mexico at a young age? I know for instance, my parents came here when they were a lot younger and stuff like that, but were you, did you come over here at a younger age?
No, I wasn't that young when I came. My childhood was in Mexico.
Okay.
Playing in the streets, playing soccer, doing all kinds of activities. But yeah, no, I came in my 20s, and then I was thinking just stay for maybe a month or a couple of years, and then I ended up staying for longer.
Okay, and you arrived straight to Santa Barbara when you
Yes. Originally, just came here, and I've been living in San Jose for a while, but locally, I just came and stayed here. Basically.
Okay, awesome. No, that's cool, man. Guadalajara's a beautiful place, man. I've been there a couple of times, and it's super nice. So
big city.
Yeah, absolutely. So were you always interested in Wim Hof, or did you how did that come to be?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that's an interesting question because when I was young, maybe in my 15s, I always liked to read about these things that the people that do meditation were able to do. To me, that was like a tale, kind of unbelievable. I remember reading about these guys that would be sitting in the cold in the snow, and they were able to just be fine without suffering any damage or getting sick. And I would just see this as a tale, something that fantasy, how could this be possible?
Yeah.
Some things that I was always interested in learning and finding out that this stuff was real. But yeah, I mean, I was always curious about finding things like this, right?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Because again, I think a lot of people out there don't really know what Wim Hof is, or have no idea of what it is. I'm sure there's some people out there and stuff.
Yes. Right.
But kind of what inspired you to pursue Wim Hof or something? I know you were saying that you would see people on, was it online? You said that on social media or something like that you would see people.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to do Wim Hof and stuff like that?
At some point here, as I was here in Santa Barbara, I've been always into sports, into performance, and at some point, just lifting weights and doing exercise was not really helping me to feel relaxed and feel with less stress. And I always wanted to do yoga.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So one day I walk into a yoga studio, a Bikram yoga studio, and that day my life changed completely. I started dealing better with stress. I started dealing with life much better. To me, that stress that I was able to experience in that Bikram studio, where it's hot and humid, was able to deal or affect in a good way my nervous system. So I was able
Okay.
to deal with life in a much better way. So that led me to, one thing leads to the next one. The next thing I started reading about this is a very specific breathing technique, which is called Tumo breathing or
Tumo
Tumo
breathing, okay.
meditation, practiced that by the Tibetans. And they sit in the snow, and they have on their side they have a bucket with water and blankets.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
they sit in the snow with the blizzard or as cold as
Yeah.
it is, and they put these wet sheets on their backs, and they dry these sheets
Oh,
with
wow.
their
With
body.
their body heat?
Yes,
Okay.
with the thermogenesis of their own bodies. So I was trying to find more information about how they do this, and then I came across Wim Hof, the Iceman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time from there everything starts, so I started investigating and studying more with what he was doing. So that's where I start digging more into
It started
into
going, like
his
figuring out, okay, how
method.
can I get into it, and what,
Correctly. Right.
how I can start this and stuff like that. And then what would you say, like, the benefits of Wim Hof would be, like, because I'm sure there's tons of benefits of Wim Hof, or like what it can do for you and stuff.
Yeah. See, many benefits of the practice. As individuals, as society, we see the cold as our enemy, right? We tell our grandmother, right, don't go outside. It's just too
Yeah, I
cold,
can relate to that. I'm
right?
Mexican, so I can relate to that. My
You're gonna
parents would
get
always
sick.
be, oh, you get sick,
Right.
or don't go outside.
Oh, it's
without
raining.
your
You're gonna
shoes.
get wet. You're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
Right. So we are disconnected from nature, right? We're warm without clothes, right?
Yeah.
Because nature, it's we are able to adapt to the environment naturally. But since we wear clothes, we just have the heaters, we have
Yeah.
air conditioners. Our bodies are, as a species, we are weak, because then there's a sudden change in temperature, and our bodies are just not adapted, right? Because it gets cold, you put your heater on.
Yeah.
It gets hot, your AC on. You put your
Yeah.
jacket on.
You don't let your body.
Exactly, adapt to
yeah,
the
adapt to
environment.
it.
Back in the days, people had to hunt to eat food,
Yeah.
right? People had to, suffer from heat, cold, hunger, running away from predators. All those things were a thing of the daily life. They had
Yeah.
to deal with these environmental challenges.
Yeah.
We don't have to deal with any of this stuff anymore, right? We
Yeah,
get hungry,
it's
we
too
open the
yeah,
fridge.
it's too easy now. It's too
Right, food is
convenient,
there.
yeah.
You get hot, you turn the AC, you get in your car, it's the same thing, right? So we are becoming weak as a species, right? And stress comes in different forms, right? It could come in the form of a virus, right? That's a stress, bacteria. It could come in the form of emotional stress, PTSD,
Yeah.
right? On different forms. So the Wim Hof helps regulating your immune system, right? Reactivating your immune system, right? For instance, when you do the breathing, your body begins to produce adrenaline in your system, which stays floating inside your body for a day or 2 days. When you go into the cold, when you go into a cold plunge, also activates your own system, right? Producing in your adrenals huge amounts of adrenaline as you go into the shock, right, of
Yeah.
the water, producing noradrenaline, for instance. Noradrenaline is being increased for about 600%.
Oh, wow.
And some studies have found that people with depression, they lack of noradrenaline in their systems.
Okay.
So when you go into the cold plunge, cannot be depressed or sad after that. Your body
you
feels
just- yeah.
Yeah, a shot of adrenaline,
Yeah.
noradrenaline, dopamine
Yeah.
is increased
It's
300%.
funny you say that. Actually, I'm not. I mean, I'm not depressed, but it's funny you say it in the aspect of like everything increases and enhances. Because I've done cold plunging before. I have like my own little tub at home, throw some ice and stuff. But it's true. You feel like a superhuman after.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like
Yes.
it's the cold just kind of like does something to your body to where you're
It
just
does.
like you just feel incredible after.
Exactly. Yeah, it activates your adrenal
Yeah.
system. You know, your all your hormones, your are reactivated. All your systems are reactivated again, right? Your nervous system, your immune system is reactivated. Your cardiovascular system, right, is also all the veins, opens, arteries, blood vessels. There's no other exercise that compares
Yeah.
to the benefits that you get for getting a cold plunge. So there are many benefits, mental benefits, right? Again, dopamine increases about 300%, so it helps with addiction, especially people, need to smoke or
Yeah.
it just remain calm because it creates a balance, creates an equilibrium,
In the
a
body and stuff.
homeostasis in your body, your mind, your nervous system. Everything is connected,
Yeah, and would you say like cold therapy and stuff like that is for anybody, like any age, or is there certain people can do it, certain people can't do it, or like
Right.
how does that work?
Yeah, there are some exceptions. As always, everything is for everybody. There are a few exceptions. People, for instance, a woman pregnant.
Yeah,
we
it
don't
makes
know
sense.
what there are not enough studies to see what the consequences could be of the breath practice, the method, the exposure to the cold.
Yeah.
People, for instance, with epilepsy,
Okay.
Raynaud's is another condition where your extremities get loose circulation of the blood in your extremities. For kids, younger age, always under the supervision of an adult, and maybe also making modifications so this
Okay.
can be done properly. And like any other thing that you try that is new, always getting advice from your doctor
Yeah.
to make
It
sure
makes
that
sense,
it's safe to do it. Yeah, it's always advisable. Yeah.
And would you say to like for people who are new to this or like who are interested in trying something like this, would you say it's always best to do it with like an instructor, like for you, for example, like an instructor like yourself, or can anybody just do it whenever at home or something? Like, do you have to do it with an instructor, or is it better to do it with an instructor first and then you could practice it at home, or how? Yeah, what would you say?
That's a good question. I started doing it without an instructor, just because of my background as a yoga instructor. But always go gradual, slow. It's not about shocking your body. It's not about going suddenly into the cold and start taking ice baths. This is something that you develop gradually. You begin practicing the breathing, getting used to the breathing technique. The Wim Hof method is based on 3 basic pillars, which is breath work, is cold exposure, and mindset.
Okay.
So all these are the three basic pillars of the Wim Hof. So it's always advisable to do it with an instructor. Attending one of the workshops that we do here in town, fundamental workshops, where we teach people the benefits, the science, the practice, the mechanics of the breath, how to prepare to go into the cold plunge mentally, physically, how to remain in the ice, relaxed, right? Instead of getting into that hyperventilation. It's all about the mind and the breath, right? There's this yoga guru Iyengar. He says the master of the body is the mind, and the master of the mind is the breath. because the way you breathe is the way you feel. So if you are able to control the most basic and elemental thing that we do as humans is the breath, right? If you cannot breathe when you are properly in a relaxed state, you cannot expect to breathe better when you are doing any activity. Let's say whatever you do, jiu-jitsu, boxing, running. And I've seen all these things happening like in a classroom, yoga classroom and a jiu-jitsu. The people do know how to breathe. They don't know how to breathe, right? So this is about reconnecting with your own body, learning how to breathe properly. And then coming back to the Wim Hof, when you do the cold plunges, what to do after you have exposed your body to a prolonged period of cold, right? So how to come out of the cold plunge and make your body work to produce the heat, right? So it's not just about putting your jacket on and trying to get warm. No, it's about reactivating your system, what is called brown fat in your system, right? There's a special type of fat that we lose as we grow older. We use, all this clothing and heaters to warm our bodies up. But this type of fat that we are born with is lost over time, right? The babies are born with a lot of this brown fat, which is full of mitochondria. It's energy, ATP, triphosphate. Because babies cannot walk by themselves, so nature provides them with a mechanism of survival. But we lose that ability as we grow older. So it's about reactivating that, which is also a pillar of your immune system. So it's about reactivating your systems and making everything work the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right? So I can tell you about this if it's all right.
Yeah.
I've been doing workshops, fundamental workshop of the Wim Hof method for a while here in town. And one of the cases that I think it was my first or second workshop in town, I had this lady came with lupus, right? Her husband asked her to do the Wim Hof, and because she's been struggling with lupus for about 7 years, inflammation.
Okay, wow.
Not able to perform what she was.
Yeah.
She used to be a power lifter.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And she tried the Wim Hof. She learned about the breath. She began practicing after the workshop, where she was taught how to do the breathing and the cold exposure.
Yeah.
And after only 3 months of practicing this, as a regular practice, all her symptoms went away. She stopped taking medicine.
Oh, wow.
And by the 5th month, she went to do blood work, and the blood work returned with no signs of lupus in her system. Yes. So it's about reactivating your own immune system, because lupus is also an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So if you are able to restart your own body, your own system, because medicine is good, it's amazing here in America for many things, but chronic issues like autoimmune problems, you're just taking painkillers and not really addressing
the actual problem. You're putting like Band-Aids on something that's like not going to heal,
Correctly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's
powerful,
wild. Yeah.
Powerful.
I mean, it gives you the idea of how powerful Wim Hof can really be if you actually put it into practice.
Exactly. Yes.
And then I just wanted to actually ask you too. I know you went to Europe, right? You said you were telling me that a little bit ago. You went to Europe and you went to study out there Wim Hof with the Iceman himself, or was it like just within his practice?
Yes.
Or how'd that go? Like how'd that come to be?
Yeah, it's funny that you're asking that, because I was learning and practicing on my own, being an instructor, yoga instructor, and then just practicing. I was planning on going to Europe and meet Wim Hof, because I just wanted to see if this guy was legit or
Yeah, like
like many guys that come out with new trends,
Yeah.
and you find out it's not really that. So, and then the pandemic came, and everybody was locked, right? We couldn't do anything. We couldn't travel. Europe, all countries were locked down and everything, right? So as soon as the pandemic ended and countries in Europe started opening up again, I booked my flight to Europe.
Yeah,
I'm like,
let's go.
I'm out of here. I have to go and meet Wim Hof. So I went to one of his expeditions in this was in Barcelona. I met him, and I can tell you, as you see his clips on YouTube, he's authentic. He is the most simplest guy, down to earth, and everything that I learned about him, it was legit. It was all true.
Everything he preaches, it was true.
Yes. We were doing breathing every morning by the lake. We were exposed to cold, ice baths, meditation. It changed my life completely.
Yeah.
And then I made the decision to, okay, this is what I want to do now. After the yoga instructor, I want to become a Wim Hof instructor and help people to live a better life, to improve their lives, at any level.
Well, and not just anybody can become a Wim Hof instructor, right? Like you have to actually go through an actual training to become a Wim Hof instructor.
Correct. Yes.
So for those that say oh, I'm a Wim Hof instructor, well, are you really? Have to have the credentials and stuff.
It took me about a year of studying online and also traveling, because you have to travel to do the test to Europe and do the testing to become a level 1 instructor. And it's very challenging tests that you do.
I could imagine.
Right?
Yeah,
it's almost like being the Navy SEALs.
Did you experience having to be in snow?
Yes, I also did some expeditions with Wim Hof in Poland.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Where we went hiking in Mount Sneska, south of Poland, almost border with Czech Republic. I think it's about 6,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. Elevation. That day we were doing the hiking, and it's all down only in shorts, swimming shorts.
Oh, wow.
And obviously you use snowshoes to walk in the snow, but just in your shorts and your breath and your mindset. That day I remember it was raining with snow at the same time.
Oh, wow. So it's extra cold, right?
It was cold, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had the chance to experience this hiking in the snow. And I thought, well, maybe they're going to cancel it because it's raining.
Yeah.
And no, take your shirts off. Well, we're going.
Yeah.
So we started going, climbing the mountain. And it's powerful that you can experience being in the environment. You realize how powerful we are. And it's most of the time, it's our mind that the mind doesn't like discomfort.
Yeah.
Right? But the body achieves what the mind believes. So I felt the power of the breath, the power of nature, and how our ancestors, right, had to deal with the environment in a way that I was just dealing in this expedition.
Yeah.
Right? So we are reconnecting with nature, right? Our bodies have memory. Our bodies are remembering our ancestors. So it's all DNA in our memory, DNA memory.
Yeah, which is
powerful.
I could imagine doing that, putting your body through that much stress, especially with rain and snow. I mean, I let alone I'm shivering when I go in just ice baths, and I could imagine the experience that you had when you were out there in Poland, you said.
In Poland,
yes. So I could imagine. So on that note, actually, before we close off the podcast, I actually just wanted to ask you one last question. For the viewers listening and stuff, what would you tell them, if they're interested in doing Wim Hof and stuff like that? What advice would you give the viewers like who have a dream or who are trying to overcome something, a challenge in life, what would you tell them? Like, how can they overcome that? Or like, because you talk about a lot about mindset, the mind is powerful, the body is powerful. Like, what would you tell them in some sort of inspiration kind of thing?
Right. I think that's a very profound question. Like anything else, what the mind can perceive, the mind can achieve. If you have a dream or you perceive something that you want to do, that's the first step, right? Dreaming about something is like Steve Jobs, right? He visualized, he had a dream, the idea, right? That's the first step, having the idea and the desire to accomplish that thing that you want to accomplish. That's the first step. The next one is to have a plan and begin building a strategy. How are you going to achieve this that you want to do? The next one is take action, right? And perhaps after that is be persistent, because life is about falling and getting back again and be persistent, right? Always be persistent. And the most important part is that love what you do and do what you love. It's about passion in everything you do, right? So it takes effort. Whatever is worth doing, it takes effort. Nothing is easy. So the Wim Hof method is an amazing tool for anyone that wants to just improve the way they live, the way they breathe, or if you are into performance, to get an edge so you can even increase your performance, or if you have an illness, to be able to cope better with that illness, you know. So there are many, many benefits, and I really invite anyone that is interested in attending a workshop or a fundamentals workshop to learn all the basic steps, all the philosophy, the science behind it, because that also gives you the intention. And intention is your energy. That's your power, really. So yeah, that would be my advice to anyone.
Awesome. No, that's incredible advice. For anybody that is watching this podcast, where can they find you? Like your Instagram? Do you know your Instagram handle? If not, I could always just put it in the
I'm in Optimize O2.
Okay, that's the Instagram. Okay,
Yeah,
and
Instagram.
then do you have a website or anything like that?
Yes, it's also called Optimize -O2.
Okay, .com.
Yes,
okay.
.com.
Okay, awesome. So you can find him at those two on his website, on his social media. Give him a follow, guys. If you really are interested in the Wim Hof method and want to like join one of his workshops, I'm sure he'll have stuff on your website, right?
Yes,
or
correct.
your Instagram
Always,
as well
yes.
too. So you can always reach out to him. But on the next podcast, if you guys want to hear more about Javier and his journey, comment below. If you guys want to see him again, we could go more in depth on Wim Hof and like what it can truly do for you, and just kind of just details of like what Wim Hof really is. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Javier.
Thank you.